Hello, friends. It's the Cinemondo podcast. Kathy and
Yay,
me.
Cinemondo.
You know what that is?
Oh, yeah. Let's show our. Well, mine's not really black, though. It keeps showing something.
Yeah. It's a mirror and it's
black.
black. There's my ring light.
That's cool. Ah.
It's my wall. Anyway, there's a TV series called Black Mirror. If you've never heard of it, I recommend it 1,000%. It's
Oh my God.
I think one of my favorite series,
Definitely.
if not my favorite. It's an anthology series. Every episode is a different story, like some of my favorite series of all times. Twilight Zone, Night
It's
Gallery.
very Twilight Zone. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It has the vibe of Twilight Zone in the modern world. I mean, Rod Serling was trying to do the same thing with his show. He was trying to tweak reality in a way that makes you consider, what would you do if, and I love those kind of stories, like the kind of stories that you think of that are like, wow, how would I react to that? What would I do if that weird thing happened to me? Or if this type of technology became available, what would people do with it? And anytime new technology comes along, like I remember, smartphones change the world, and how and you never really know how they're going to change the world when a new thing comes in. Like cell phones, like how is that going to change everything? And it changed things we didn't expect it to change.
That's right. And so what I love about it, like Charlie Brooker is the creator, and he calls it techno paranoia, which I love because every episode has a hint or either overtly major element of techno, like how technology's affected the world, how we use it, how we abuse it, how it can change the world. Sometimes they go way into it, like if it was more like this.
Yeah.
I remember that one episode with Dallas Bryce, I think, and it was a social media thing where every transaction you made, you had to rate, and then they would rate you. So the customer was rating you as much as the business was rating the customer. So it became this, your entire life was this credit rating you get by the amount of likes or dislikes you get.
Yeah.
She ends up getting sabotaged where her likes start going down, starts ruining her life. She can't get loans. She can't get a job. She can't. So it's like a great example of what is actually kind of happening. So I love that.
In some ways,
so prophetic. A lot of their episodes, it's incredible.
Yeah, and there's also things that extrapolate technology that maybe someday will happen. Some of the technology is technology that we already have, but just sort of a little bit further into the future, just a little bit more enhanced, like AI and things like that. Like the episode last season about the AI TV show, the woman who wakes up and suddenly there's a TV show about her.
Yeah, it's like Netflix, like a kind of Netflix type. It was called like cherry streaming or some kind of weird name like that. And it was Netflix, and you wake up and everything you do is on the screen, happening with an actor playing the role, but it's like your life. It's incredible.
And what eventually happens in that storyline, it just kind of pushes it. It takes that idea, the technology. What if AI? Because AI can already deep fake, it can already do some pretty creepy ass things. And what if somebody did that to you, and what would you do? And it's like it's scary. It kind of, in some ways, I love Black Mirror. In other ways, it kind of scares me. It's like that movie Idiocracy. I love that movie, but when I watch it, I'm like, yikes.
We're in the middle of Idiocracy right now.
Yeah.
And what I love too is that they always get really great actors.
Yes.
Even if it's like not even one of the better episodes, it always has an element of like, that is a very cool idea. There's always a cool idea involved. So we have a new season. We can talk about it, like who's in it and what's going on after we watch the trailer.
Cool.
All right.
Season 7.
Season 7.
All right. You ready?
Yep, we're ready.
And
we'd like to welcome you back.
Ready?
Yeah. 3, 2.
And action.
They call it mind expanding. It alters your neuronal structure. The mind is a computer. Suddenly, we're not just more receptive. You become a receiver.
Sometimes we have to do things that we don't want to do.
I just want something magical, timeless,
Come with me.
We'll all be cyborgs before long.
Just remember that they're AIs. To them, this is real.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Kids love honey. That's why parents love Honey Nugs. The sweetest way to start your day.
We're getting quite a following.
Yes.
We have to create software that elevates us. Or else, what is the fucking point of the tools at our disposal?
I had never seen anything like it. Humans consider artificial life to be somehow less than them.
Do you have a problem with me?
What?
She was just a bit odd.
Odd. We're all a bit odd.
My heart is pounding like a drum.
I'd have listened.
You'd have heard her?
Yes, I would. You are a fucking miracle.
It's a game.
What are most games about?
Escapism?
Killing.
I don't like this game.
I'm losing my mind.
I love the song they used. That was perfect.
Yeah, dream a little dream of me. It's a the trailer shows a lot of different all of the episodes. It's not like one, you're not just seeing a trailer for one.
But they tend to overlap. It seems like in theme, so it almost seems like different.
We're bringing back
realities.
some older episodes, like sequels, like the Callister and the spaceship one, and the one where they put the little thing on their head that has the the ring of lights around it that you can replay your memories.
Yeah, and I also like the Black Mirror Bandersnatch is in here. The game game creators from that, same actors and everything. It looks like they've created an even more immersive game. And I love the point they make around most games are about killing. Why is that? Like when you think about it, everything's about killing.
Yeah.
Like Warcraft, Elden Ring. See, it's all about killing stuff. Yeah, there's a little bit of like, oh, I'm gonna make some potions, or I'm gonna, make some armor, but most of it is all on the surface killing shit.
Yeah.
It's weird that gaming is about that most of the time.
Slay 12 dire wolves.
So
But
weird.
The thing is, I've always that's always the thing that sort of turned me off of gaming. And the gaming that I've always liked the most is the kind that goes into sort of more like a quest or solving a crime or like some mystery kind of thing. I remember just really getting into like exploration games, like those open world things. Like it was sort of like World of Warcraft, but you don't have to kill stuff. You just go find clues and things like that. Those are. Yeah. I like getting into the feeling of being in another world, the virtual reality. There's a moment when you kind of cross a threshold and you start feeling like the places in the virtual reality are places that are familiar. Like when you go back, you're like, oh, I remember this place.
You start knowing. It feels like a real place. And that's why I think it's kind of interesting about this, because think about it. What if games are even more real? Which is sort of what this is, where when the guy gets killed or whatever in the game, he kind of wakes up going, oh shit, like what? And he's booted out of the game, and he feels like he felt the pain in a weird way. It's like, like intense. But mostly like when I do gaming, I love the exploration aspect. Like I play the killing games like Elden Ring or Warcraft, but I love exploring new lands. That's my favorite. When there's new expansion or something new or an unfinished map, that's my most favorite thing. I just love the new stuff, and I like it to all look different. That's why I was never a big like Vice City kind of thing. Like drive around shooting in cities. Right. Like I feel like it's just too familiar. They didn't really change it up that much. Now, I want to see new fantasy lands. So that's just my thing. But I relate to this, what it looks like is happening in here. Because I like that they're trying to amplify that.
There was some games, some quests in World of Warcraft that I remember where it would be like, go find the the missing crates of gear on the island, and you would go around looking for boxes of
Little crates.
gear, you know, and to me that was, you know, it's always kind of creepy when suddenly a scorpion is chasing you and you're like, okay, do I run or do I turn around and fight it? Do I have enough life left? And you have this urgency, like, am I going to get killed? Am I going to have to run for a half an hour from the stupid cemetery back to my dead body, you know?
Exactly.
And I think I always liked a more immersive, like if it's going to be an immersive world, I don't really want that aspect, the threat or the having to stalk something and kill it. And I think in this game there was, I mean, in this trailer and in Black Mirror, the idea that you could live. I remember the one episode, there was one episode about the people that were living in the virtual. I don't want to give the story away or anything, but they were living in kind of a virtual reality paradise kind of thing where you're young again and you can fall in love again and all this kind of stuff. But the idea that a game doesn't necessarily have to be a scoring thing, where you basically go in there and that's where you're going to live your life. You know, that's where you're going to spend your time. And I think Black Mirror explores that idea of virtual, the extent of virtual reality. Where are we going in the future with this? Like in Warcraft now, we're looking at a screen and we're hitting keys and we're running and we feel familiar. But what if, you know, you put the thing on your face and suddenly it's 360. But then what if it goes beyond that and you're sticking this little thing on and it's feeding directly into your brain? Why would you ever want to come out of that world? You know what I mean?
Exactly. And you know, it's interesting you say that because there was that documentary that just came out, The Remarkable Life of Elben.
Yeah.
No, The Remarkable Life of Ebelin.
Yeah.
And it's about this little kid who, not little kid, he was a teenager, but he had a muscle wasting disease. So he created his whole persona inside Warcraft. And so he created all these friends and he had all this, you know, his whole thing was he loved to just run this big circuit. He just wanted to run. His character just ran.
Yeah.
Still play the game, but his fun part was just running in the circuit because he couldn't really run in real life. So there's like that kind of aspect, which is kind of touching on in this, is where if you're, in a way, it's kind of the Matrix.
Yeah.
It's like if you're not having a good life or whatever, you can live this alternate life inside a game like that. And you can run and you can jump and you can be strong, you know, even if you're not in real life. So I can see the appeal. And I think that's sort of what they're kind of approaching in some of these episodes, or it seems like there's a hint of that. But
yeah,
spectacular as always, an incredible cast. You know, it's like,
yeah, the cast looks great. But speaking of the virtual reality thing, I remember years ago there was a thing called, I think it's still out there, but probably not cool anymore, was Second Life. And I remember just years ago experimenting with that. It was an open world, you know, not a game. You just go in there and there were things that you could do, places you could go, and you could make friends. And I actually made some friends in there. And I remember we used to meet at a certain time and we would sit on the edge of this volcano and we would chat about what we do and stuff. There was one guy who lived in Puerto Rico. We all spoke English, so we could communicate. And there was one member of the group for a while, and she evidently, or, you know, you never know with people, you never know what's true or not, but she was paralyzed, you know, and she said she spent most of her day in Second Life just running around. She had like a surfboard shop on the beach in there, and she had built this little house that, you know, you could buy property and plant trees, and, you know, it was, you could make your little world. And to me it feels like, imagine how strange it would be to go into a world like that. Like you said a minute ago, if your life is not so good and you go into that world to sort of escape your not so good life. And what if you don't want to come back out? You know, you're like, you dread coming back into the real life.
Well, I mean, a lot of people do disappear in that. You know, a lot of people have depression and they don't want to leave and they, you know, they can't stop gaming. I mean, the trick is you have to have a balance, but But this trailer, I think it's showing us like we have 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see like one is probably, it looks like Rashida Jones is in one that has to do with kind of like, in a way, kind of advertising, like becoming like this avatar of advertising this product, this honey
like
product.
Ads interfere with everything, even the classroom.
Exactly. Yeah. And then we have there's also Paul Giamatti, who looks like he's really great in it. We have Emma Corrin. We have Aquafina, who I love.
Yes.
I mean, so many great, and Peter Capaldi, of course.
Yes.
So he's great. I loved his hair and everything.
Yeah.
So he looks like a guru of the
Right.
kind of
We become a receiver.
so, you know, with AI happening, and then
Yeah.
this is, I think anyone could take on AI is this guy, Charlie Brooker, who's going to bring
Yeah.
this in and make it like, this is where it can go, this is how it can abuse us, and this is how we need to contain it. Like, there's going to be a cool
Yeah.
lesson in all of these about we can't give our life over too much to these technologies, because then how human can we be at that point?
It's a
you know?
warning, but
I know.
it's almost like a war on drugs in a way. It's like I remember seeing, you know, when I was younger, I remember seeing certain friends of mine getting sort of tempted into that world of, you know, in Hollywood, like in the 90s and stuff, there was a lot of heroin going around. And I remember people that I thought were
Heroin
really
going
cool.
around. Okay.
Yeah, a little heroin going around, you know.
What's going around?
It's like, hello, heroin.
Hello, here.
But it was scary because I knew, I mean, it was in the circles that some of the, you know, the periphery of some of the circles I hung around in, it was there, and it was like deadly dangerous. I know some people that didn't make it out of it, you know. And the idea of virtual reality is kind of like heroin, you know, the way you could probably get addicted to it, any kind of sensory stimulation kind of thing like that, where you're, you know, getting rewarded. That's the warning that I think they're doing with Black Mirror. It's like, don't let this happen.
You can't lose yourself
Yeah.
by virtue of this very seductive kind of technology. You know, it's like, it won't be physically addictive, but it could be mentally addictive. So looks really cool. Can't wait to see it. So
it does look really cool.
Yeah, let's know in the comments like your favorite Black Mirror episode. I think mine was the black and white one with the robot dog. I love that one.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called, but I love that one. But there's so many great ones. So many.
I can't
let us
think
know
of the best one. There's like so many good ones. I really like the one I was just talking about, which I can't remember the name of it. Unfortunately, the one where the woman has a TV show about herself.
Yeah.
The title of it was something like Emily is Awful or something like that.
Something like that.
Totally wrong. Correct me.
Yeah, correct us. But let us know what you think of the trailer and what did you see? Any Easter eggs, any little fun things in there we missed? And we'll catch you guys next time.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.